What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. Back finally after the vacation and all that stuff. Obviously everybody's been having fun, spending time with family, hopefully cashing tickets and all that stuff too. For me, been busy with a lot of the money baller stuff. My kid just started playing AAU basketball, so that's a big deal. That's been taking my weekends. I was actually wanting to start doing weekend shows, and then yeah, we just have week events every weekend now, so that's been tough to do. But I'm gonna try and do some weekend shows early in the morning if possible, but also get back consistently on this 11 o'clock time slot now that the holidays are sort of over. I'm gonna rock by myself today. Austin and Munaf, they're both in Texas, kind of dealing with the storm stuff. So hopefully everything is all good and safe with them and anyone else dealing with the storm over there in Texas. All right, so WNBA has been amazing so far this season. Over at Wagertalk, number one on the season once again. I was number one over there last season. Um, was just on a huge streak. Went up to 17 straight W's, 17 straight wins in the WNBA, and that went down last week. Just want to get back on track this week. Hopefully, we start a new streak. I think I'm like 3-2 right out since losing, but I did find one play yesterday, and then I actually want to get on another play for in the W today after some of the injury news because I thought Nafisa Courier was known to not be available today, but then news came out and then the line shifted like 3 points. So let's dive into that actually real quick. Let's go into the WNBA and then we'll do some live capping in the MLB. Bring up my screen here. All right, so moneyballer.com. We're on the WNBA page here. We have the links. They're actually 4 point favorites now, and the total's still at one. Actually, the total went up to 158, I believe. Yeah, 158. Um, Going through some of the situational notes here, we have the rest advantage on the link side. At least 2 days rest. At least 2 days of rest there. Sparks do have the in-season revenge though. On the baller systems, we have some competing systems on the over and the under, but a couple of them on the links here. If we look at the schedule, Minnesota, they've kind of been struggling offensively, and that has to do with losing Nafisa Coyer. But like I said, they've had a couple of days of rest here, so I feel like they're going to be able to get back on track, at least on the offensive side of the ball. And then you look at the Sparks here. They were doing pretty well. They beat the Aces. Obviously, a letdown spot here against Phoenix. Phoenix ended up covering that game. I think it was like a short spread, and Tarasi didn't even play that game. Um, the Sparks here don't play again until the 13th, so they have a lot of rest going after this one. They face Dallas, and then Minnesota has a key game coming up in Seattle. So potential look ahead there. If you look at the ATS splits, if we look at the historical matchups here, I believe they've gone under in 5 straight matchups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that includes 2 matchups already so far this season. You could see how majority of the time it's the Sparks that are really struggling to score here. ATS splits, you have the Lynx on the road 7-3 ATS, better on the full game than the first half when they're the favorite. And we can dive into a road favorite here on Give Me the Dog in a bit. If we look at totals, if we look at the Sparks here, 3-6-1 at home on the spread. If we look at totals, primarily unders in the first half. So you can see right here, Lynx first half 14-7-1 to the under, 9-3-1 to the under as a favorite, 6-3-1 as a at home for the Sparks in the first half there, and some other pieces that actually point towards the under as well. So off of a loss and off of a win, that first half Lynx. I actually didn't have that. So Lynx first half under could be a potential play there. ATS ranges, so Lynx when they're favored by 2.5 to 7, 5-2 ATS. That's weird. Okay, and then Sparks. Actually, we have to shift here. So dog, 2.5 to 7 point dog, 2-5 ATS, 2.5 to 7 point favorite, 5-2 ATS. So they're kind of the opposite there. If we look at the season stats here, both teams play a slow pace. You can see Lynx is the best defensive rated team in the league. Their offense will shift that to like last 5 games. We'll see what the difference is, but without Nafisa Coyer, they're not as great offensively. 4 factors here. You can see their effective field goal percentage allowed first in the league. That's why they're one of the best defensive teams. Third in effective field goal percentage offensively, and the Sparks are dead last right there. They do get to the free throw line a lot, but the Lynx do a great job defensively in limiting that. Offensive rebounds, both teams are kind of struggling in that aspect there. And then the turnover rate forced is where there's a difference, right? You can see the Lynx really force those turnovers compared to the Sparks. If you look at scoring, points per game wise, second in the league in points per game allowed, only less than 75 points per game. While the Sparks are allowing 85 or more. Points off turnovers is a big factor here for the Lynx. You can see, like we mentioned earlier, turnover rate force is high there, and that's one of the reasons why they're first in the league in points off turnovers per game. One aspect that the Sparks do have some success is second chance points. So they should be able to get some offensive rebounds and second chance points here, because you can see offensive rebound percentage allowed for the Lynx here. They're actually second to last. So if we see some success from the Sparks, that would be it. Second chance points and opportunities in the paint. So you can see most of their attempts are in the paint there compared to the Lynx. Lynx are dead last in paint attempts. So most of their shots are going to come from mid-range and from the 3. But if you look at paint defense here, field goal percentage allowed in the paint, they're first in the league. So even if they get these second chance opportunities, these offensive rebounds, they still might struggle to actually get the ball in the hoop. If you look at mid-range, this is where I could see them. I mean, without Nafisa Coyer, this come down a little bit, but at the same time, they still got Courtney Williams, who's a really great mid-range shooter. And then you have McBride, who's been one of the best 3-point shooters in the league right here, against one of the worst 3-point shooting defenses. So overall, I think there's a couple of ways to play this. I actually took the under yesterday, and the number went the opposite way. I still believe in the under, because one of the biggest reasons was because there was no Coyer. I thought that was a known factor in the line. But yeah, today it shifted a little bit after the official news that she was out, and it went from 7 to 4. So that's the reason. One of the biggest reasons why I didn't take the 7 yesterday was because I thought it was just too much. But at 4 right now, I think that's just way too much, in my opinion, because I already factored in the fact that Coyer was out. So at 4, I'm actually really thinking about playing it. Some of the trends here point to it, and we'll dive into a little bit more with Give Me the Dog. But let's look at some of the recent games. So let's look at last 5 games. Actually, let's actually look at the home road splits first. All right, so away versus home, you can see the pace is still really slow here. Defense and effective field goal percentage still great on the Lynx side. Does shift a little bit with Coyer out. Offensive rebounds. So the Sparks do have a better offensive rebounding percentage at home than they do on the road. Second chance points. So they really struggle on the road here with second chance point, giving up. With second chance points. So they're not really getting a lot of offensive rebounds. Dead last in offensive rebound percentage and offensive rebound percentage allowed. Second chance points here is that's really where their opportunity is for the Sparks. So pretty consistent overall with the numbers here for road versus home. Let's go to last 5 games here. Last 5 games. So this is where you see that gap with the offensive rating without Nafisa Courier, and that's only a few games without her, and they shift down to dead last in offensive rating. But if you look at who they played, right, they played some of the better defensive teams in the league. You got Connecticut there, you got the Liberty there. They actually scored 94 against the Liberty here. Washington has been a sneaky defensive team in recent form. And yeah, so I think some of those numbers are a little bit misleading, but just putting the two things combined, playing top defenses with Nafisa Courier being out, have put them in this position here. So I think that we see a bounce back. I mean, they've had some rest, they have some opportunities to figure out the offense without Nafisa Courier. If we go here into Give Me the Dog, and we look at them as road favorites, just 3-1 to the under. It just seems like the totals are way too high compared to what they are at home. If we look at the Sparks as home dogs, they also point towards the under, 4-3 to the under. Let's look at them when they're less rested. One and 4 straight up, 3-2 ATS, 2-2-1 to the under. They actually play solid defense when they're less rested. You see their opponents are 4-1 to their team total under. So if we go to the link side, do the opposite there. When they're more rested, actually points to the over, 2-0-1. They limited their opponent here. The Sun under the team total. Wings and Liberty went up and over. That's interesting. Let's look at Sparks one more time. Scores 78 here. 98, 80, 78, 88. So they've been sort of an over team in recent form, but it's mainly them giving it up. Because they're 3 out of the last 4, they stayed under their team total. Aces, I don't know. This was all right. So Aces went on second to back here. That's probably the reason why the Sparks kind of took advantage of that. So like I said, I already took the under on the game. The total shifted up. I do think that the Lynx defense still continues to be strong here. But I do want to add the Lynx ATS -4. I think some of the trends point in that direction for the Lynx here on the road compared to Sparks at home. Some of the stats point in that direction. I also think this Lynx Sparks under in the first half looks pretty solid too. That makes a lot of sense to me, especially with the best potential look ahead to Seattle. I know it's a couple days later, but potential look ahead to Seattle for Minnesota. Maybe they let off in the second half. So I think if I was to redo it, Lynx first half under, and spread ATS full game Lynx -4. Just look at the chat here. Oh, what up, Chris? Justin putting up some baseball there. They were struggling before Fee went out. Yeah, they're playing some solid defenses though. Okay. Hamby, LJ, Hamby over 10.5 rebounds. Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're getting they're going to be able to get a lot of offensive rebounds here. Sparks in the first half. We can look at that. Oops. So we look at Sparks in the first half. Primarily down in the first half on average. If we look at them as at home as dogs, pretty. I mean, they're not losing by much, and they're pretty consistent by quarter, first quarter and the second quarter. They're down in the first quarter by 3.3 points on average. What if we do? So they didn't have to travel. They're pretty solid in that first half. Jake here, Lynx -2. I mean, they look pretty solid in that first half, and then they fall off in that fourth quarter for the most part. Let's look at the Lynx here. Road favorite. Actually, let's just put road in general. Hamby loves playing the aces. That's her like forever revenge angle. All right, so looking at the Lynx on the road here, 7-3 ATS. They do give up more points in the first half than in the second half. You can see they lock up here in the second half, especially right after the first half. Let's look at them as favorites. It's that first quarter for them. First quarter. Let's actually didn't the Spark struggle in the first quarter too? Yeah, right there. So I think another way right here. All right, so Sparks has home dogs. They're down in that first quarter by 3.3. And if we go to the Lynx here as road favorites, they're up by 3.5. So I think maybe that first quarter, maybe that Lynx first quarter is the way to go from a spread perspective. Because I kind of do want to stay away from that that potential storm look ahead. Good pointing out that early look. All right, so I think I'm actually going to do that first quarter here. First quarter Lynx. I'm about to add that to my card. All right, that is it for the W. Let's move on to MLB. If you guys have any baseball plays or baseball games to dive into, just let me know and we'll look into those. MLB live capping. I already saw one. S dot. We could dive into -2.5. Jesus. All right, so let's actually just dive into that first. But if you have any other baseball games to look into, just let me know in the chat here. All right, so let's look at the Yankees. Whoa, what the heck? Orioles. I don't really see matchup ratings this high. Let's actually look at this first. Orioles -148 at home. Totals at 9.5. We have Tayon, I think is how you say it, and then Kremer. Orioles a matchup rating 8. So huge advantage for the Orioles here on every level. First game of the series, first game home off of 2 series on the road here. This was first game on the road for Chicago. They blanked the Angels. All right, so last 5 starts, pretty solid here, giving up a home run per game, but he's going far. 7 innings pitched here, consistently 6 or more innings pitched. We look at Kremer, 0 runs given up here, only pitched 5 innings, had 8 Ks. He walks a lot of people though. Consistent walks here versus Jameson. We look at the splits as a road dog. So I mean, he does well at home as a home dog, but as a road dog, he struggles here. Dean 0-2-1 in the first 5, 1-2 in the full game. So nothing huge there. If you look at totals, kind of the opposite. 4-1 to the under as road dogs, 3-0 to the over as home favorites. If we look at the splits by team, Orioles really solid here versus righties. So I think this is where the advantage is. So if you look at Orioles versus righties in the first 5 and the full game, very strong there from a win-loss perspective. Home favorite, 21-7-4. As a road dog, 7-12-7. That's solid. Okay, let's look at last 30 days here. All right, so last 5. Wait a second. All right, so last 5 starts. So he had. So this was his first start back off of that lengthy time off. All right, so that's the reason why there's only one start here. All right, so 1-0 in that span, 0-2 as a road dog for Teon. Unders here. Orioles again, man, stay consistent here against righties. Unders for the Cubs, overs for the Orioles, except for as home favorites. All right. So if we look at last 30 days here, their Cubs offense is really struggling, only averaging 3.6 per game. You can see their barrel rate is low. Hard hit rate is okay, but the Orioles really solid here. They're not striking out a lot. Barrel rate, hard hit rate, pretty solid. Everything really solid here except for walks. They're not taking a lot of walks, but it's probably because they're getting a lot of contact. So Cubs here striking out a ton, 25.3% K rate, and you got Dean Kremer here with a 14.4 K per 9. So this definitely seems like a spot to take the Orioles. Both guys small. I mean, like obviously with how they've been doing, the advanced numbers would show some type of negative regression, but it's not that far off. The bullpen here, I mean, I would think it's fairly even. Slight room for positive regression for the Orioles, slight negative regression here for the Cubs. I think it's the offense that really makes a difference here between the two teams. It's the Orioles. Let's look at how he's done against the Orioles historically. So we go here. Let's go to Give Me the Dog, MLB. Seven and 7 on the season. He hasn't faced the Orioles this year. Let's see what he did last year. 5-2 straight up. Lost same matchup last season. They lost that one 3-6. Prior to that, Orioles kind of struggled. Oh, this was against the Yankees. This was when he was with the Yankees. All right. So gave up 3. Oh, so they were actually up in the first 5, and then the Orioles took over. Hang on. Let's go with. All right. So as a road dog, 1-4 straight up. He's down by margin usually in the first 5. The only one that they won was here, that first game. After that, they've been getting wrecked a little bit. So 0-7, and then after that, at least 2 runs. I'm actually gonna play this run line. Orioles run line. All right, so okay. My bad. I just saw that right away and wanted to dive into it. So let's get to the Yankees. Actually, let me look at the chat again. Okay, Justin with more baseball props here. Check his numbers against Wheeler. We'll look into that. Site to get your exact bets. Yeah, Wagertalk. Wagertalk.com is where my official plays are. And then Moneyballer is really my source for my stats and my information. So primarily, if you watch the show and you kind of read into how I dive into the games, you could technically just kind of use the moneyballer.com and get the same plays. All right, so Yankees. Where was that? All right, Yankees. Rodon versus Pep. Yankee. You said -2.5. S dot. You're crazy. All right, so -2. All right, so Rays are +110 at home. Totals at 8. Rodon versus Pep. Lefty versus righty. The rating system actually likes the Rays here, and it's primarily the starting pitcher matchup. First game on the road here after a couple series at home. First game at home after a couple series on the road. Their offense has really been struggling lately, other than this breakout game here. If we look at last 5 starts, Rodon, man, he's been giving it up, dude. Look at the consistency here with the home runs. 5 in the third here. He has been getting his Ks though, 8 each in the last 2 starts. For Pep, pretty solid here. Three straight solid outings here. He doesn't last that long though. So maybe a first 5 look here. All right, so last 30 days, Pep 1-4, Rodon 1-3. Nothing significant there. Unders for the Rays here against lefties. Overs for righties. I remember righties in the first 5 was a thing in the beginning of the season, but it looks like it's tailed off. If we go full season here. Yeah, so 43, 19, and 8 in the first 5, 15, 6, and 3 as road favorites versus starting righties in the first 5. But if you look at the last 30 days, 5 of the 6 L's came in the last 30 days. All right, so let's look at the stats here. Offense looks pretty well. Advantage. So obviously the power seems like the power goes to the Yankees here slightly. They're getting more runs per game. They're striking out a little bit higher. The hard hit rate is not that great. I think they're getting. This is pretty interesting. Okay, so they have 33 home runs, but their hard hit rate is one of the lower in the league in the last 30 days. Barrel rate is solid. They get a lot of. There's a lot. So they have the speed advantage, right? So they're able to get their guys in run scoring position. If we look at last 30 pitching, both of these guys have kind of been struggling, especially Rodon. Look at that. I mean, why? It's an 8. I don't understand that 8. It seems like an over. Like I feel like these guys about to get rocked, unless there's some positive regression here. Bullpen wise, both of the start. So the bullpen and the starting pitchers kind of suck last 30 days. This seems like an over type game, in my opinion. I see this. This is the only thing that scares me off the over, but everything else really points to the over. If I was to bet this one, it would be over 8. Let's see where the line's going. 8 slightly juiced to the over. I mean, I can't see how it goes under, in my opinion. All right, let's look at that. 8. Oh yeah, shoot. All right, Justin. Yeah, we're aligned there. The over 8 makes sense to me. 3.5 team total. Hold on, last game not so bad. I think the over is the way to go. No matter what side you're on. All right. So any other games that you guys want to see here? I'm not sure anyone mentioned anything else. I think someone mentioned Wheeler. Someone mentioned something about Wheeler. Freeman against Wheeler, I think. Braves game. Let's go to that Braves game. Braves, Diamondbacks. All right, so Diamondbacks plus 108 at home, 7.5 is the total. Sale versus Gallen. Oh, Gallen. Oh, this is a good pitching matchup. All right, so Braves look to have what? So a 5 +5 in the rating system. So it looks like they like them a lot. Couple baller systems on the under. It makes sense. I just look at these pictures and I already automatically look towards the under. So Braves won yesterday 4-5. Sale solid. Only went 6 innings last game. He could probably get a little further. He has been giving up walks consistently, so that's one thing to look out for. Gallen, he's pretty solid too. Gave up 3 earned runs in the last one. Primarily walks. Only went 4 innings. Only 4 innings here. Okay. Looking at the last 30, both very strong here. Unders from a team perspective already off the bat. This is already pointing to an under. Braves offense kind of struggling here. They do have power, but they're striking out a lot. So when they get contact, it's primarily home runs. That's where they're getting their runs from. These guys have good contact, but not a lot of power. So it's kind of the opposite here. Man, these starters are killing it right now. Bullpen. Ooh, that's where the Braves probably had the advantage is that bullpen. Let's look at the season numbers real quick. This is a good point. So Sale skipped a day to start it today. Kind of odd. And we talk about that too sometimes. Like when you don't get that consistent like 5 days or 6 days off that you're used to, you tend to get off rhythm. So that could be something to look into as well. So on the season, Diamondbacks versus left-handed pitchers as home dogs. They haven't won a game yet. And the unders here for the Braves. Overs here. That means they're giving it up. So right, so they're losing here, and they're going over. That means they're giving up a ton. I bet you it's that bullpen. I bet you it's the bullpen. Let's look at some other things here. So give me the dog. Zach Gallen. So unders 3 and 3. That's interesting. Let's do. He's not a dog. first time he's been a dog. All right, so actually no, second time he's been a dog. They won both times as a dog. First time against a lefty though, and we know this team. Team versus lefties kind of struggle. All right, let's look at them. Oh, sorry, home. At home versus starting lefties. So they've actually won 4 of the last 5. At home versus starting lefties. And if it's Zach Gallen, 3-1 straight up. 3-1 to the under though. So I think the under is the way to go. Let's go Sale. Nine and 6 and 1 to the under. On the road. Look at how much he's given up in the last 5 starts on the road here. 2-1, 2-1, 1. This got to be an under. This got to be an under. What the fuck? How do you get 9? That's crazy. Under 9. So it opened up at 8.5, down to 7.5. Damn. That's some good CLV there. I would only look towards the under in that one. Mariners, Padres. All right, Mariners, Padres. We got Gilbert, an all-star for us this season, and then we got Adam Mazur. Righty versus righty. Padres home dogs. 7.5 is the total. So it looks like the Mariners are off an extra inning game, but they do have have a day of rest. This is the first game on the road after playing a whole bunch at home. Padres, this is their second series at home. They've been giving up a lot of runs here. Oh, that's against Arizona and then Texas. Okay. Seattle's offense, man, they've been kind of struggling. Gilbert gave up 4 earned runs in those last start. 5 in the third. I think we see potential bounce back here, in my opinion. All right, so we look at Missouri. He's been giving up runs consistently here, a lot of hits. Only pitched 4 innings, so he doesn't get that far. Gilbert, look at that first 5 unders. 15, 2 and 1 to the under in the first 5. Very solid there. Team splits. Nothing too crazy. Padres to the over here, but Mariners to the under. Let's look at last 30 days. Damn, 4-1 to the over. Overs versus righties for the Padres. So it looks like they're getting a lot of run support. Home dog 2-0. Mariners as road favorites to the over. That's interesting. This looks like if anyone does Yerfy Nerfy, this looks like a Yerfy day. So Mariners road favorites in the last 30 days. 5-0 to the Yerfy. All right, so let's look at a batting matchup here. Mariners struggling offensively still. They're just not getting contact, man. They're just striking out at a high rate, but whenever they do get contact, that barrel rate, hard hit rate, solid. They're just striking out like crazy. But check that, Missouri is not a strikeout pitcher. He is not a strikeout pitcher. So that's a plus for the Mariners here. This guy's struggling. Gilbert pretty consistent here. Bullpen wise, potential negative regression for Mariners. So I think this is first 5 on the Mariners. There's a potential look here. First 5 Mariners. Yeah, 3-1-1, 2-3. First 5 Mariners. Gilbert. On the road, he's allowing 2 runs per game. Let's do road favorite. There you go. This is what I was looking for. Team total under for the Padres. So look at that first 5, averaging less than a run per game given. On the full game, 1.25. It's either Padres first 5, team total under, or just a full game team total under. That's what I was looking for right there. All right, so what is this? Mariners 34-0 when Gilbert gets 3 runs of support. Not sure if it's during the whole game or when he's still pitching in the game. Any way to verify that? Yeah, let's just do that. So we'll do starter, and we'll just say runs greater than equal to 3. So when Gilbert gets 3 runs or more of run support, 61-19 straight up in his career. So if we go by season, uh, 10-1 this season. I don't know where the 34-0 is from. Not sure. But that's what I pulled. So basically what I pulled was when Logan Gilbert is a starter and the team scored 3 or more runs. That's the record. All right. So Justin has Padres. Man, I can't look that way in this game. I got time for one more. Was there another game that someone popped? Actually, I don't see another game. That seems like it. All right. With that said, all right. So that's it. That's it for MLB. Is that site easy to use? Need to check. Dude, like I literally use it on the show every day. I mean, just the thought process. You know, if you watch the show, I'm literally using all the tools that you have. If you get access, you get, and it's free, right? Like Bitsy, it's free until the end of this month. So there's no cost in trying it out. Obviously your access would be different than mine's because the free access is basic. So you get the stats and the trends. You won't get this part here, like the rating systems. You won't get whatever's here under the Baller exclusive. You also won't get we're shifting the WNBA page to the new look this week as well. You won't get access to the model projection for WNBA. And then with base, all right, so let's just shift over a little bit. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. The other piece is so at the same time when we're releasing the new WNBA page, we're also releasing the access to the Discord. So the Discord is completely free, but there is a separate section for Baller Access members. They have more access to us. So myself, Austin, guys who are part of the Money Baller team, Zach as well. And they get just a little bit more handholding basically in that Discord. But other than that, we've actually had the Discord open for a couple of weeks just to a few people. just for them to get like the lay of the land and all that stuff, see what all the pages are about. We have bots that pull roster information for WNBA, for MLB. Um, we have outliers or whatever it's called. Outliers.io, I believe it, or outliers.bet, something, one of those outliers. We also have a bot from them that provide trends on a daily basis. So even some of the trends that we may not have here, because right now we don't have prop level data. So outliers, we brought in that bot so that you guys can have prop level trends for each game, and they give like 10 props per game as well. So you know, obviously, like I said, moneyballer.com doesn't have that level of data yet. We're mostly like totals and sides from a team perspective. Um, we have that information in the Discord. Um, what's the monthly for it? So basic access is just $20, and I believe the baller access is 50. Just because there's a little bit more handholding. There's a lot more features for those who um, need that help, right? So if you're someone that already handicaps games, have your own system, your own flow, I think the basic access is all you need. $20 to get the trends, to get the stats and all the information that you need. $50 is for those who are kind of getting into it, who needs a little bit more hand holding. You know, you get these model projections, these rating systems and stuff like that help out a little bit more. Um, and those are like, proprietary stuff that we built on our end. You get the baller systems here, the situational notes. So basic gets the normal situational notes, right? Rest advantage, well rested, whatever it is, second leg of back to back, something like that. But then these baller systems are actually like SDQL systems that we've kind of we've had for multiple years, made sure that they meet certain criteria. So winning at an X%, over at least 5-year time frame, with this many games of sample size, right? Because we're not trying to do like 10 game sample size over 10 years, hitting at 100%. Like we don't do that type of stuff. Um, does it get date injuries? So date injuries, up to date injuries. So the injuries come in the Discord bot. So right now we're gonna look into trying to get that into the website. Man, might as well just, this is our, let's just say this is a Q&A session for moneyballer.com. Any questions you guys have for our website, you just ask it now, and we can get it out the way. So right now, the up to date injuries, those come through those will be in the Discord. So once you join the Discord, you'll get the bots that pop up. Nafisa Corey, being out for the game, or the batting lineups for the MLB, stuff like that. That's gonna all pop up in the Discord, um, like every single day when they come up. And then we're gonna work on, in future state, we do want player level data on moneyballer.com. We do want injury reports right here on the site as well. Um, and other pieces, like just like live odds, live scores. We want all that stuff here on the moneyballer.com. Like I said, like from the beginning till the end, we wanted moneyballer.com to be sort of a one-stop shop for all the things you need for handicapping games and all that stuff too. So, I mean, obviously we've only been up for what, 2.5 months, 3 months. We have over 850 subscribers right now. Primarily everyone's doing the basic. We only have like I think like 40 paid members right now using the baller access. A lot of great feedback from them. August 1st is the deadline, right? Everyone's gonna, whoever used the free basic access and they feel like they gave value to them, will probably head over and become paid subscribers, right? I mean, that was the reason for the free basic access, is just for people to kind of see what it looks like. Does it bring value? We're not trying to force feed this to anyone. This is a tool that I use personally. I use to handicap every single day, and if it works for me, I'm pretty sure it could work for everybody else. It's just a matter of how you interpret the data that we provide. Um, MLB, NBA, and WNBA. NFL will be available. We're already working on all that stuff here on the back end. Yeah, MLB, NBA, and WNBA. Obviously, NBA is done. WNBA is here available, like you saw on the show. MLB is available, as you saw on the show. We are, like I said, shifting the WNBA page to look more like the MLB page. So like WNBA will have, yeah, you see how these trends here, you only have a minimum, I mean, not minimum, but you only have like a few here. So what I have for WNBA coming up this week, we're gonna have team totals first half, full game, team opponent team totals first half and full game. We're gonna have like records off of back to back, less rested, and things like that. So extra trends for you guys to look at that help in handicapping. Road favorite, home dog, in those types of situations. And then also here, instead of showing the pace, offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, and um, all that stuff is going to shift and show uh, what it actually looks like, and closer to what it looks like in WNBA, like SDQL. So if you go, so if you just go to Storm, right? What you see here, for the most part, what you're looking at is, did they cover? Did they win? Did they go up and over? So what you're gonna see in the new look is straight up margin. So if it's a minus, that means they lost. If it's a positive, they won. ATS margin. So if it's a minus, they covered. If it's a positive, they didn't cover. Over under, minus is they went under, and then a positive is that they went over. So those are like some of the minor changes that we're doing to it. We just want to make it easier for people to use, be more helpful. And we're using, I mean, most of the changes that we do on the website, most of the changes um, are based off of feedback from people who are using it now. So it's not like we're just, like I said, we're not force feeding anything. It's feedback off of other people, and it's feedback off of us as handicappers. Um, yeah. All right. So yeah, and then NFL, like I said, NFL is coming up. We'll have that ready. We'll have our systems ready. We'll have our stats, our advanced stats, our schedule, and all that stuff. Those are going to be ready to go before the NFL season. We want to look into adding college football and college basketball, but I'm not sure if we'll get there this season. Any site by, oh, appreciate that. Yeah, so like I said, dude, the website, I use it every single day, and the reason why I was on that huge win streak um, that I was on with the WNBA was primarily because of this website, being able to call out all these things. And I was just on vacation last week during that big run, and being able to have all this stuff on my phone, because I was in Vegas. I was like you saw me on the show when Austin and Munaf was doing the show. I would pop in on my phone while I was at the pool, and I was able to cap games at the same time. Like it fits on the mobile, I don't know how many of you guys here now are members of or subscribers of moneyballer.com, but if you ever look at it on your phone, it actually fits perfectly, so that you're not like scrolling around, zooming in, zooming out. Every part of it fits perfectly onto the phone. So you can, like, if you, even if you're not at home, you're not on desktop, you can cap the games wherever you are. All right, so yeah, that was a lot about the website, but hopefully that answered a lot of your questions. And like I said, dude, if you haven't signed up yet, sign up now, because it's free and you could see if it brings value. If it doesn't, and we didn't do our job as as a team to put together a site worthy of $20 a month. Um, and then the other piece of it too, uh, if you sign up now, if you sign up now, let me just make sure this is correct. If you sign up before the end of July, we have a discount, a promo for those who use the site before August 1st, basically. So so I don't know if that makes sense to you. So after August 1st, you have the 20 and the 50, but those who actually use the site before August 1st and have a membership, they will actually get a coupon for a discounted price on their subscription. So they won't pay the 20 or the 50. Um, Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But yeah. All right, let's move on to the top looks. That's how do you get into the Discord? We're going to be releasing the link to the Discord this week, along with the new WNBA page. That's just going to be all on one day. So hopefully by the end of this week, just look out for a tweet or something from myself or the Moneyballer site. All right, let's go to top looks. All right, so top looks, man. So there's some in the MLB that I really like that we looked into, and that was the Orioles on the run line, and then Padres first five team total under or the full game team total under. I think between those games, Padres first five team total under and the Orioles run line. I'm not too sure about the full game. Actually, I don't know. I actually like all three of those, to be honest. So run line Orioles and then the Padres team total under. All right, and then in the WNBA, it was the Lynx first quarter. Lynx first quarter on the spread there is what I'm going to add to my card. We talked about the trends. We talked about the numbers. We went into Moneyball. Give me the dog to dive into those. And those are the top looks. With that said, that is the end of the show. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. If you're on Twitter, make sure you guys head over to the link on YouTube so you can subscribe and make sure you don't miss any future shows because we don't always multi-stream on Twitter and YouTube. So you just in case you miss those shows, you have this subscription, and then look out for the Twitter, the tweet. Sorry, the X post. Follow me on X, Youcapper Sports, and look out for that post for the Discord and the updated WNBA page. What else is there? You can find my official plays over at Wagertalk.com. And yeah, that's it. With that said, that's the end of the show. And I always have to end the show like this. Whether you fade me or follow me, it's on you to make that call. You are the one pushing that submit button. Good luck with all your action. Till next time. Peace.